Hello, how is it going? It's December, it's almost Christmas. Do you have all your presents yet? I don't. The other day, I thought I ordered a box of Christmas cards, and when I checked to see when they were going to arrive, I discovered that I never actually did submit that order, and now if I were to actually order them, they wouldn't arrive until Thursday the 21st, aka definitely not in time to actually pass them out, so that's fun. Woohoo. But anyways, what I have with me here today is not one, but 2 packages of ornaments to paint on. One set are these little wooden globes, balls. Baubles? They're called baubles. Excuse me. Okay, so I have one set of baubles and one set of tiny little flower pots that you can turn into little bells. Conveniently, note that they are the color of gingerbread. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Gingerbread themed balls? Bells. Gingerbread themed bells, not balls. The set comes with this sad little paint palette. These little jars of paint that every little kid craft kit comes with. And it also comes with one of these super cheap brushes. It's already bent. That's fun. So I'm just going to use my trusty apple barrel craft paints from Walmart. Maybe some Posca pens. I got both of these sets last year at Target in the $5 and under section that they have in the front of the store. I actually haven't been to Target in months at this point, but I would imagine and hypothesize that they most likely have something very similar to these still if you do want a fun little Christmas craft to do within the next couple weeks. Anyways, without further ado, let's get painting. Of course, the very first step of this process was the gesso. We are starting out with the wooden ornaments. It took 2 or 3 coats to really get good coverage on these. As wood projects typically do, they kept soaking up the gesso, but honestly, I was surprised at how fast they ended up drying. It was just a minute or 2, honestly. It was really fast. I'm assuming this has something to do with the wood soaking up all the gesso, but it did make this part of the process go faster. Now let's get right into it with ornament number 1. I'm painting each ornament a solid color, starting with red, obviously. This paint was a little thin, but not terribly thin. Definitely better than some of the other colors that come later. I ended up doing, I think, 3 full coats plus 1 touch-up coat, and by the time I was done, it was looking pretty nice. I also painted the top white over the white gesso, which, of course, looks wildly different now. What a bold choice. For the design for this ornament, I am drawing on some black cats with a Posca pen. I was joined by my muse for this step. I covered the rest of the ornament in cats, helped extensively by Iris. Then I gave each cat a nice green bow. Most of them are wearing the bows. I tried to make one of the cats playing with one of those bows, like what you put on top of a present, but it just looks kind of unfortunate. Apparently, Iris didn't want me to put bows on the cats because she got very involved with this. After I finished the cats, it was looking a touch bare, so I filled in the remaining space with some polka dots to match the white top. And here we have the cat ornament. Off to a strong start already. I love this one so much. Putting black cats on things is becoming my brand very quickly, and I'm not opposed to that whatsoever. Next ornament, I'm starting out by painting dark blue. Yes, this was one of the more transparent colors, unfortunately, so I had to put a lot of coats on it before I got it looking okay. This ornament has a gold top, so I painted that on as well. Jumping right into the design, I used a lighter blue Posca pen to paint on a nativity scene. This is the reason that I personally celebrate Christmas in the first place, so I had to include this somewhere. On the sides of the stable, I added in a donkey and a cow. Yes, it's a cow, I promise. Just squint, it's fine. And on the other side, I drew a shepherd with a sheep. Again, to finish it up, I added a bunch of stars to the sky, and I tried to cover up my poor blue paint job with a line around the top, but I don't think that really worked all that well. So here is the dark blue nativity scene ornament. I like the dark blue with the gold top, and I like how it tells a little story as you spin it around. The animal anatomy could definitely be improved, but in my defense, it is not easy to draw a very small creature with a very large Posca pen nib. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is by far the worst paint color. It's so transparent. It's so transparent. Every time I put a new coat on, I would think it would be finished, and then when it dried, that dang wood grain was still there. Why are you eating so much of my green paint? Is it the fault of the green paint? Anyways, I did eventually get an acceptable coverage, and I moved on to the top, which is gold once again. Then I noticed that there was this weird dark spot on the green. Kind of looks like an egg somehow. I don't even know what's up with this paint. It's just behaving weirdly for this entire project. So for the design for this one, I started with a squiggly black line across the entire ornament. Next, I started on some colored blobs around the line because, you guessed it, this is a string of Christmas lights. Iris was briefly involved in this process. After I had opaque colors built up, I connected them to the line and gave them each a little white highlight. This one is another favorite, folks. I just love it. The highlight just did something to it. It's so fun. It pops so much. I'll forgive the initial poor experience with the green paint because I think in the end it looks like a nice color and it's got a pretty even coverage. Next up, we have a light blue ornament. Can we just take a moment to admire how opaque this paint is? What a relief after the last two. I did 2 coats, but I definitely could have just done 1, honestly. Anyways, this one has a white top, so I added that, then went right in with a snowflake pattern. I drew 4 different large snowflakes around the outside, then added in some smaller ones to fill in the extra space. This design was super simple and quick. It's not my favorite, but it's nice, and it looks good with the other ones, I think. Alright, it is time to open up the second kit. It came with those little pots and some materials to make them into bells, along with this brush that was decent quality, but it was irreparably bent. I don't know, I might be able to revive it later. I wasn't sure whether or not to gesso these. I wasn't sure if it needed it or not. So I tested a pen on the inside and it looked okay, but I kind of felt like it wanted to soak up a lot of that paint. So I decided I would just gesso the areas that I plan to paint. Jumping right in with the gesso, as you can see, I'm only gessoing part of these because, as I mentioned earlier, these will be gingerbread themed. For this one, I made a frosting looking blob along the top. I started painting white over the top of the gesso, but it looked literally identical, so I decided to just stop that and just get started with the design. It's a little guy. After I gave our little gingerbread guy a face, he needs a name, doesn't he? Let me know what I should name him. I'm thinking maybe like Jerry? Do you like Jerry? Jerry the gingerbread man? Anyways, after I gave him a face, I decorated the frosting with some little candy dots, or sprinkles, whatever they are, or some just miscellaneous gingerbread decoration, whatever. I did another frosting design around the bottom with more red and green, and just like that, boom! The friend is complete. I love him. I love him, okay? He's possibly my favorite. Possibly. For the second bell, I'm switching it up by only putting gesso on the bottom rim of the pot. You'll never guess what it is. What's that? More gingerbread? How on earth did you know? Yep, this one is a little gingerbread house. I drew on a door and some windows, and per suggestion from my mom, I gave it a little scalloped roof decoration. I added a wreath to the door, then added some candy decorations, 2 candy canes on the outside edges. Hang on, wait, hold on. This is a circle, it doesn't even have edges. But, like, the edges of the decoration, you know what I mean. Anyways, it's got candy canes, and it's got little gumdrop bushes. And lastly, we're filling up that bottom edge with festive sprinkles. And here we go, bell number 2. I would have liked some more unique designs on it, but honestly, I couldn't remember what all you would even decorate a gingerbread house with. Candies, I don't know. What else would you even decorate it with? And we're on the home stretch with the final bell design. I went all out with the gesso on this one and covered the entire surface of the bell. Our friend the red paint is back again for another couple coats, and it definitely showed better on the pot than it did on the wood. And then I got out my white Posca, once again, and immediately destroyed the entire thing. I tried so hard to do a mitten pattern, I even used a reference picture of a mitten, and it looks so bad. I don't like it at all. I'm so sad. Honestly, I have a fun idea now for it, and it's way too late to change it, but I might redo it and then show it in a future video just to give it a redemption arc. On that unfortunate note, it's time to actually string these bells together. The instructions on the package were incredibly vague, and I'm pretty sure like what they suggested that you do wouldn't even have worked properly. That's okay though, it was easy enough to figure out, but oh my gosh, the pain I went through to get that string through the bead. It was too many strands to go in easily, and it kept fraying, and only a couple strands would come through at a time, and it was too thick to thread a needle through and like pull a needle through to get them to go through the pole, and oh, this was just tedious. It was so worth it though, look how cute they are! The actual bell ringers are these little, like, craft jingle bells like you'd get at Michael's or something. So it's kind of like a double bell. And I intend to put hooks on them so they can also be ornaments. And I've got a tiny little tree. I didn't have time to do it this year, but next year I might decorate my little tree with all these cute little guys. I honestly adore how these came out. I think even the bad one was improved by the addition of the bell stuff and then the little bead on top. So I'm satisfied with these little bells. They're cute. And here we have all our ornaments together. We've got the 4 little baubles or bulbs, and we have the 3 little terracotta pot bells. Unfortunately, my least favorite of them is still the red bell. I'm just not happy with that design, but I think it at least looks cute with the set. It's so hard to pick a favorite because they're all fairly different designs. But I think my favorite bauble is the green one with the lights, and my favorite bell is the little gingerbread guy. He's so cute. Let me know, which one do you like the best? I'm really curious. I actually especially enjoyed painting on these little pots. The paint dried super fast, which was excellent for my impatient self. And it's also just a really satisfying texture and matte finish. Ooh, feels good. I have some ideas for painted pots for future projects that I will definitely be doing, so keep an eye out for that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope your holiday season is happy and blessed. Merry Christmas if you celebrate, And I'm curious, what's your favorite gift that you're giving someone this year? Mine is probably a dish set I got from my mom. Mom, if you're watching this before Christmas, you didn't hear anything. This is going to be my last video of 2023, so I will see you all next year. Have a happy and wonderful 2024. Bye!